fresh air every time you pass me by. I see stars when you're looking straight into my eyes. Ooh, baby, I wasn't looking for love, but you threaded your way inside. It said do not disturb, but you managed to break the line. How do you stop? Do you stop what you know you can't control? 'Cause what you done to me feels good, but you'll never know. You'll never know, huh? You're in my head. You're in my head. I'm trying to shake you off, but I just can't seem to get it. You're in my head, yeah, yeah, yeah. You're in my head, and I get butterflies every time I'm thinking about you.
Welcome to the Business of Soul Searching. My name is Erin, and I invite you to join me as I travel the world challenging risk takers who have soul searched and came out on the other side to tell us their incredible stories. Are you ready for this?
Thank you so much.
Yes, thanks for coming, and we're promoting your new single, In My Head.
Yes.
So, tell us a little bit about the single.
Well, like I was telling you before when you walked in, it was the simplest process. I have never had it be like that. It was so easy with the guy who wrote it with me and the producer. Just came together so easily and so beautifully. He literally, the songwriter, sent me this beat, said, this guy Vicodin.
Okay. You're like, okay.
This producer Vicodin from LA wants, he sent me a few beats and I listened to this one and it sounded just like you. And I was like, okay. So he sends it over and I loved it. And he was like, can you get in the studio tomorrow? And I was like, sure. So on the way there, I'm writing to it. He's writing to it at work. We joined forces at 7 o'clock at night in Jersey at his studio. And we finish it by midnight and we never touched it again. Like it was literally.
It sounds like it. It sounds like it just literally, you just did it.
Yeah.
Like it was just, it naturally came to you.
It was easy. Like he came up with the majority of the melody and lyrics, and I came in and helped with the bridge and the way, because he sang it for me right when I got to the studio, and I was like, yes, that's perfect. And it was so right in my zone, in my range.
Yeah.
Just it was easy to sing for me, and that's always the best. So and on top of Rich, his name is that helped me write it. He's super talented. He's written for Trey Songz, Chris Brown, One Direction. Like he's super talented and he's an awesome guy on top of that. So
yeah, to sweeten the deal.
Yeah,
that's
exactly. Just so easy to work with. The whole deal of, okay, we have this song now that came together so easily. We had other songs that were in the works that I thought were going to be my first single. Okay. And this one came together like that. So then we're like, wait, maybe we want to switch it around a little. So that came together so quickly, and we were like, okay, percentages were all split up. Everyone was happy. It was easy. There was no like, oh, we negotiated for 6 months and we're still not happy with the way it came out. So, and that happens, and I've had it happen before. Yeah. And this one was just so simple. It was like, okay, great, take whatever you want. This is awesome.
Did you feel like that was a sign?
Yes,
was that like everything's kind of just falling into place?
Yeah, even like my boyfriend, like we were like, we got to put this one out first. This came together so easily. Like when doors open for you that easily, it's like you just got to walk through.
Agreed.
Because there have been times, I mean, it's been 3 years since I released a song and it's been difficult working with different companies and labels and dragging of the feet. It's like going independent was the best thing that I think I ever did. Yeah. So it gives you just that control to release music when you feel like you want to and when you need to. So I like to work fast and I work quick. So so it's like, I mean, we were talking about it.
We were just talking about it, yeah.
I don't like to wait for other people. Exactly. So if you're going to be on my team, we all have to be at that same level of work ethic.
Agreed.
so just having those people on my team now that worked on this song, it has made my team so much easier. Just with when you're able to pick and choose people for your team, it's a lot easier than jumping into someone else's team.
And then, I see.
So
okay.
So that's kind of where I'm at, building my own team. Like, we're on a train and we're moving. If you want to hop on, great. If you don't, we're still moving.
Yeah.
You know? So
talk more about like being an independent artist, because I think people are really interested in that and what that takes.
I always thought you have to be signed to be successful. That was always in my head ever since I was little, because every big artist when I was young was signed to a major label. And then all of a sudden you see people like Chance the Rapper coming out of the woodworks, and it's like, wait, okay, this past Grammys he won 3. And
I know.
And he did it on his own. Like, okay, that was the best Grammys I've ever watched, because it was so inspiring. I was like, let's go. Yeah. Immediately when I saw that, because it was just, so the Grammys were in February, right? I think that's around.
Yeah.
So Grammys were in February, and I officially went independent in January. So it was the perfect timing of like,
this is my sign again.
Just the signs were there, and with different companies, I just felt it in my gut. Like, it just wasn't right. And I would give companies up to a year to do what they said they were going to do, and it still wouldn't happen. It feels like a breakup every time. Yeah. And it's difficult. But it's like, you may like them as a person, but as a business person, it just doesn't work. So, and like we were talking about, like, it's difficult in this business, and you get in with friends, or you get in with, you know, people that you like to hang out with, but it might just not be right business-wise. Exactly. So I've had that definitely happen, and no hard feelings to anyone I've worked with, but I think it's just, this is my time to do it on my own, because I find when I do it on my own, like, no one's gonna work harder for me than me. Agreed. I always say that. And I agree. And if someone wants to hop on my team, like a Fred or like my boyfriend or anyone, they have to believe in me as much as I do. Agreed. And they have to have that same drive, because if you don't, then you're gonna get left behind. Agreed. You know, and not to be cutthroat or anything, but it's been years since I released a song, and I just want to keep moving, and I can't let anyone slow me down anymore. Agreed. You know.
So how do you feel like being a woman factors into that? Do you feel like it complicates things? Delegating?
I mean, I've definitely had instances where you're seemingly treated differently as a woman in the business. I feel like with some aspects of the business it's hard, in some aspects it's easier. I think it's harder because you want to be taken seriously, and some people, I feel like, okay, you're a decent looking girl, let me, you know, hop on your train. Okay, does he really want to help me because he likes my music? Exactly. Or is he in it for other reasons? So that has been a bit of a difficulty with me. And even like with shows, like I've had different promoters like say inappropriate things to me, like, will you do this to get on this? And it's so frustrating. Yeah. But as soon as I shut that down, it's almost like then they have respect for you. Yeah. You know, and it's not like, oh, whatever. But I feel like if I just stay true to myself and strong as a woman and respect myself, others will respect me. Agreed. And so I think also it's taking a turn. I mean, even like with Trump, but all the women coming together, it's like, now I'm reaching out to playlists to get my song on playlists, and I had this idea to look up like girl power playlists. You would not imagine how many there are. Oh, okay. Like, it's insane. And when I reach out to people, I like reaching out to other women and pitching it like, let's help each other. Agreed. Like, if you're a makeup artist and I want my song in the background of your video, like, I'm helping you and you're helping me. Like, let's like be bosses together. Absolutely. You know? So I think in that aspect, it's easy because we're coming together and we're helping each other. So
yeah, and there's plenty of women to work with. Definitely, there's like so many. I didn't realize when I started this podcast how many women that actually take their brand seriously.
Yeah,
that there are to collaborate with. And I had that thought, that same kind of like, with men, you're kind of taking a gamble. You don't know where their loyalty really lies. But it's like, okay, if that person is not taking your brand seriously, then maybe you didn't want to work with them anyways. Yeah. Like, how seriously are they taking their brand if they can't even take your brand seriously?
Yeah, exactly.
So that's good stuff. So how did you start singing? Like, when did you realize, hey, I actually am pretty good at this?
I have told this story numerous times, but this is the time that I remember most vividly, like actually getting up and singing. I was in the church choir, and my friend sitting next to me, we were singing Silent Night, and she like leans over to me and she's like, "Hey, Liv, I hear you in my ear, and I think you actually might be decent."
Yeah.
And I was like, "Oh, no, I don't think so." And she's like, "No, I think you should try out for a solo." And I was like, "Oh, absolutely not." So it gets to be the next practice. The choir director asks, "Oh, who wants to try out for the solo?" And she raises my hand for me. And I was petrified. The choir director was like, "Olivia, yay!" Oh! And I'm petrified. Like, I'm in third grade, shaking like a leaf. I get up there, and I just remember holding the mic, and my hand was just going. And ever since then, I got over that fear, and I loved performing. And it's an outlet, and it's fun, and I love entertaining now. And so ever since then, I really started getting into it. And then I started taking it really seriously around 15, 16. Yeah. Started doing the clubs and the bar scene in Boston, New York, Providence. And then started going out to places, and bigger like R&B acts would call me up on stage, and they'd have me do a song, and then I would start performing with their band, and it just kind of escalated from there, and different people in the industry were noticing what I was doing and interested in it, I guess. And my mom was posting YouTube videos of me, like the moms
supportive
do.
Mom.
Yeah,
Definitely.
So more for just family to see, but then other people started seeing the videos and liking it, and then I just started working with all different people, and I mean, now it's gotten me to this point that I'm going independent instead of working with companies, but I'm still working with people. I still have people on my team. You can't, it's not realistic to say you can do everything yourself.
By yourself, yeah, I know.
And I have thought that way for so long, like, I'm gonna do this myself.
Yeah.
Like, I don't need anyone.
Type A, like, I know.
I don't need anyone. Like, I need to be in control of everything. But now it's like I'm slowly starting to let go of the reins and give some responsibility to different people, and it feels good to like be able to be like, okay, I can focus on my craft. I don't have to focus on every single aspect of it. And like, okay, if I don't send out 100 emails today, am I going to fall behind? But now I'm behind on the creative part, of actually making the music. So if now being able to focus more on making the music instead of every single aspect, obviously I'm still a bit of a control freak and have to oversee, but until someone proves to me that they can handle it on their own and do it right and do it as well as I think I probably could, or as I think it can be done,
absolutely,
then they can go away with it and do their thing. But it's definitely been a challenge for me, like you said, type A personality, where you just have to.
I'm the same. I'm not being condescending. I'm like, I'm the same way.
No, but that's, I mean, it's good and bad that comes with that kind of personality.
Absolutely.
And I just kind of need to let go of the oars sometimes and just be able to let others help me that want to support me. So I'm at that point now where I'm finally being able to let go and let God, as they say.
Nice. And I think definitely what I'm hearing you say is that part of growing is learning when to outsource. Yeah. So when is it like you want to focus on your craft? So you want to focus on why you fell in love with what you're doing. Yeah. So there's certain tasks in the business marketing piece, I'm realizing as well. Yeah. That you're kind of like, this is my strong point. I kind of have to drag myself to do this. Yeah. Like, who can I find that can do this that I trust? Yeah. So I think that's important too, but not kind of needing to control every single thing because it slows down. It does slow down the process.
Yeah, exactly.
So before we get to accomplishments, because I want you to fill people in on that. So part of my podcast is also about taking calculated risks. So we talked about fear a little bit. So how do you kind of get or process through your fear?
I believe in myself, and I believe that if I can do things right and take those calculated risks, that it'll be worth it in the end. And I work my butt off, and I think that's a big part of it. Like, I remember seeing an interview with Alex Rodriguez, and he was saying when he was in Little League, he wasn't even close to the best person on the team, but he worked his ass off. And because he worked as hard as he did, he got to the level that he's at now. And that after seeing interviews with people like that are at that higher level, and they didn't have the most talent on the team or in the band or whatever it was, but they worked harder than anyone else. That's what got them to where they're at. It takes a combination of both. Obviously, you can't just have one or the other, but But I think that's a big part of overcoming fear is just working your butt off and not being afraid and just believing that what you have was given to you for a reason and going with it and not being scared to overcome anything. I mean, I'm not going to say there haven't been times where I'm like, oh, geez, like I even say, I hope my kids don't have a musical talent because as much as I love it to death, it's a tough business.
It's competitive.
Yeah, it's a tough business. And so I just hope like they're normal. They go off and they go to school and they get a real job and it's like easy for them. But it's like I want it for myself so badly, but for my own kids, I'd be like, I just want something easier for you.
Interesting.
So, like I said, as much as I love it, I don't know if I would wish it on certain people. Yeah, because it's difficult.
But they also would have you as reference too. So it's like that you may not have had that, that person that's like, oh, I've been through it. It's hard getting feedback or whatever,
Yeah, because I come from a family that is not musical at all. So I didn't have any point of reference, really. And I haven't really had any sort of a mentor. I've had to figure it out for myself. And so I'm constantly learning and researching on my own. So now being able to add certain people to the team that have different knowledge in different areas, it's helpful to me because... like even with Fred helping me out on the management side, it's like it feels good to have someone that can take over certain aspects of your career, and that has been a huge help. So it feels good.
It's important sometimes, and so that's good that you made that choice and you're happy with it. So let's get to your accomplishments. So what are your favorite bookings that you've had? Like your top?
Well, I think it was maybe 2 years ago or so, I opened up for August Alsina with my dancers, and I remember getting the news that we got the spot, and I'm so not the type of girl that screams or like I wasn't that type of girl in high school that they're like those squealy girls. So not me. I'm very like cool, calm, and collected. But I just remember like letting out a scream. Like I was super excited, and it was time for us. And I still have my two dancers with me, and they've been like my ride or die people. They're definitely on my team and supporting me, and it's not easy. I mean, there are some shows where there are 10,000 people, and there's some shows when there are 10. You know, and so you have to perform the same way no matter what crowd you're performing to, and we've learned how to do that, and just having them behind me. A big part of my act is dance, my live act, and having them behind me, it just makes it so much more entertaining. So I would never want to lose that aspect of things. Definitely. So So they're
was
the
a big
best.
one.
Oh yeah, that was a big one.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to think as far as bookings. Oh, well, the one that really turned around, I think, my whole career
Mm-hmm.
was actually just down the street. They had a festival, but they get like 7 to 10,000 people.
Holy crap.
Summer festival.
Wow.
And they have this huge stage, and it's like a non-paid gig. But we got up there, and at the time we were doing clubs, we were doing bars, more of the not older crowd, but our age group, and maybe later 20s, 30s. And it just didn't seem to be sticking the way I wanted it to. And 2 years ago when we did this festival, there were a ton of kids there. And we got up there, and I did some originals and I did some covers. And the covers happened to be covers that the kids knew. And they were singing along at the top of their lungs, going nuts. Oh. And I'm like, why aren't we capitalizing on this?
Yeah, definitely.
And that was the moment where a light bulb went off in my head, and I was like, okay, we need to flip this switch here and capitalize on this, because they're the ones that are going to be begging their mom to get them tickets and buy them the music and the merchandise, and they're the ones that are those hardcore, diehard supporters. Like, I saw them after, so we got off the stage, and they swarmed us like we were Taylor Swift. Like, we did a Taylor Swift cover, Bad Blood, and kind of made it our own. I swear they thought we were Taylor Swift. Like, that's the way they were treating us, and we're like, you guys know we're not actually Taylor Swift, right? And I would get messages from them like, I heard your song on the radio, and it was a cover I did. I'm like, okay, let them fake it. I guess fake it till you make it.
Exactly.
But they're like, they would spam my Instagram account. After that show, they were going nuts. Like, I had never gotten so many comments and just supportive love from fans before. And once I saw that, I was like, okay, we got to switch this up. So that's the moment that literally that next day, I'm like, okay, I got to start working on more pop music than hip hop. So I still kept that soulful aspect of it, the R&B in the music, because that's my true self and that's what I love. But instead of going for the hip hop side, I went more pop, and it was like overnight I saw a huge difference.
Got it.
Because you got to find your market, and once finding your market is huge. And just branding in itself, like, if you have a product and it's not marketed right, you don't have a product. So finding that market was huge for me, and they've been like my number one supporters forever.
I can't have you on my show without you at least giving us.
Without you putting me on the spot.
I know, without me putting you on the spot, and we just would like a little piece of In My Head for my listeners.
Alrighty, we'll do a verse and a chorus. Just a little sneak peek.
I'll take that. I'll take what I can get.
Alrighty. Fresh air every time you pass me by. I see stars when you're looking straight into my eyes. Ooh, baby, I wasn't looking for love, but you threaded your way inside. It said do not disturb, but you managed to break the line. How do you stop what you know you can't control? 'Cause what you done to me feels good, but you'll never know. You'll never know. You're in my head. You're in my head. I'm trying to shake you off, but I just can't seem to get it. You're in my head. There you go. Just a little sneak peek, right?
Yes. So
not too much.
Yes. No, I think that's not enough. So, if people are intrigued by the song, which I'm sure they are, where can they find it?
Yeah, so we're really pushing it on Spotify. It's good for the listener because they can listen for free. So that's the one platform that they can really go to and stream it all they want, and it doesn't cost them a dime. So Spotify is definitely where it's at. In my head, Olivia King, it should pop right up.
Good.
Yeah, we're doing a video, so that should be should be released on May 1st if all goes well. So that should be interesting. It's a whole 50s vibe. We got the shoo-doo-doos in the back of the song, so it gave me the idea to do a whole 50s vibe. So we did it all shot in Rhode Island and different venues that have that 50s vibe. So it should be pretty cool.
I'm excited to see that.
Yeah.
And you also cover songs online,
Oh, yeah.
right? So that's kind of like, doing well for you. So where did that idea come from?
Well, my mom, like I told you before, my mom posted videos of me on YouTube, and those were covers. And then once it started gaining some recognition and a little bit of traction, I started doing it more and more. So in college, I would sit in my dorm and just have the camera there and do that. And then once I saw that the younger kids really liked what I was doing, like 2 years ago at that festival, I started doing a lot of covers and posting them on my Instagram. So my whole journey, you can follow it on Instagram from when I started doing those covers to now. So I started posting a cover a week, and people were liking it, and I just built that up and gained the traction so that when I released my own song, I'd have a lot of people that were already interested in what I was doing.
Yeah.
And I think it's a great platform for people to start out, and you can show your versatility as an artist. You can take a rap song and make it your own and make it into a singing song, and I've done that quite a bit. So I think that can be huge for artists to do covers. I mean, you see the Justin Biebers of the world that started on YouTube, and social media today is crazy because it switched the whole music game because you don't have to have someone physically at your show to see what you're doing
and purchase your music
and purchase your
do all
music.
that. Yeah.
So it's like people can find you all over the world, and you could be sitting in your house. Like, it's crazy the connections that you can make by posting a video to social media. And I've found that has been a huge help, and just directing those posts to my right audience has worked wonders. So once you find that market for yourself, like, that's my biggest tip to anyone, is find your market and run with it.
Yeah.
Because if you just try to go with what's trendy or what's popular at the time, like I was doing that, and nothing was sticking because, one, I wasn't staying true to myself, and two, it just wasn't my market. And so you have to really analyze what your music is and who will enjoy that the most. And once I started I was catering more to the younger crowd, but my music, because it doesn't have swears in it or it's not inappropriate, all ages can enjoy it. And that was a big thing for this debut single, to have it be a song that doesn't lose an audience. So with rap sometimes, as much as I love rap and I love hip hop and I listen to it all the time, my parents, they're like, I love the beat, but the content, like, sometimes
like,
can be a little a little inappropriate,
and
then you lose certain audiences, the older age, and then the real young age that their parents don't want them listening to that.
Agreed.
So you're really only honing in on a few age groups there. So that was a big thing with this song, just to make it universal, like a Happy, like Pharrell's Happy. I saw he performed that, I think it was on the Oscars, right when Happy was big.
Yeah.
And I was at my grandma's house in Florida, and she had all her friends come over to watch the Oscars. And when Pharrell came out and he started singing Happy, all the old people in my grandma's house were like jamming out, and they were like, this is awesome. Like, that light bulb switched on for me then, like, okay, they like that. I like this. The kids that I babysit like this. Like, okay, he's doing something right. Because he's catering to every age group, and that's how you make your money. Because if you're catering to everyone and everyone likes it, like a Bruno Mars, these universal artists that everyone's into their music, like that's a huge thing for me. So I definitely don't want to lose any audiences right now, and just keep trekking along and making music that everyone can enjoy.
But I feel like within my head, it also is you. It's not.
Yeah,
it doesn't sound like you're trying to do too much. You're just doing you, and people are receiving it well.
Yeah, I've had friends and different people say, like, it just sounds like you singing. Like, there's no crazy effects. There's no, like, literally. It's just you.
Yeah,
you know?
It does.
And that's what they like about it. So I think it works. If you're just you, people receive that the best.
The best, I think. You know? I agree.
I mean, I keep referring to different people, but like Sam Smith, I remember he got up and accepted his first Grammy, and he was like, I've been doing this for so long. People told me I needed to lose weight, and I needed to sing this and do that. And once he stopped listening to everyone telling him how he had to be, and he was just himself, he won a Grammy. You know? And so it's like, just stay true to yourself, because people like you for you. They like you. They like you.
Agree.
You know?
No,
so.
I see that too. I like how observant you are. Like you see something and how people react, and you take that. You know, you're like, okay, marketing and just like life skills. So I think that's just really good.
Even when I was little, like, I would go to the playground. My mom said I just wanted to sit there and watch people. Like I just like taking everything in. Like, she'd be like, honey, go play with the kids. And I'd be like, no, I just want to watch.
You want to watch, yeah.
And that's how I am. Like, I observe everything. Like, I could probably, in a few months, you'd ask, like, oh, what was I wearing that day? I could tell you down, because I notice every little thing. And it probably drives my boyfriend crazy, because I'm like, oh, that thing in your hair.
Can you, like, do that? Not like that.
Go, you didn't say that right.
Yeah.
But it's like, that's how I am. I just love absorbing things and taking
detail.
It in. Yeah, exactly.
So what are your comfort songs to cover? Like, what are a couple of favorites?
I'm Going Down is my number one. Mary J. Blige's version.
Classic.
Classic. So that's, if you had me sing a cover today, that would have been my go-to.
Maybe next time. Hopefully I get you another time. That might be, we might have to do that.
That's definitely a go-to. And then I love Blue Cantrell. She's from Providence, and she did that song Hit 'Em Up Style, and that's so, like, in my zone, super soulful.
Totally.
And you know.
Like girl power, girl power. Almost like very.
Yeah, so I love that. I like those big production songs. So those two are definitely some go-tos. They're just, I love soul. Soul music is where it's at. Even when I was little, like, all that neo soul type style. My mom frequently played Lauryn Hill in the house. Like, that's just kind of what I grew up listening to, and that's what I loved. So yeah.
So there's that, and then also you are getting into the fashion world, so you also do that. So tell us a little bit.
Dabble a little in it.
Exactly.
I started that from, like, the ground up with those kids that I met at the festival. I started creating these groups, and they call themselves King Squads, and it's groups of 15. They're mostly girls. And they're just young girls, and I talk to them every day, and I have a ton of these groups, maybe 20 or so, and they each have 15 girls in them. And they're people that I noticed were really involved in what I was doing, and they seemed like they wanted to support and be a part of it. So I reached out to them probably about a year ago and started putting together these groups, and they're like my focus groups. I talk to them every day and ask them things. What do you guys want next? What, you know, do you like what I did here? Do you not like it? Why? And because they're my target audience, I felt like those focus groups are huge to me. So with Sugar Rain, they wanted fashion from me. And I was like, okay, I'm putting together this company. What do you guys like for a name? What do you guys want? What would you buy on there? And the first thing they said was jewelry. And so I started sourcing out to China and all these different places, finding different manufacturers, and making it still with my brand, a lot of crowns, and ended up calling the company Sugar Rain, and now it's turned into kind of like an Etsy where sellers, if they have the same kind of vibe as the store, they can sell their stuff on a consignment basis. And
Of course.
I give them the exposure and put them on the site and put them on the Instagram and get them sales on a platform that they probably wouldn't be having. So it's kind of turned into an Etsy, and then we actually just became the official sponsor of Miss Teen America this year. So that's pretty cool. It goes with the whole vibe, Sugar Rain with the queens and stuff like that.
It works. Yep,
it works. So all the contestants will be getting little Sugar Rain things. So that's kind of cool. You can keep an eye out for that. They'll be promoting it and stuff.
Definitely.
So yeah.
But I like that you turned it into something productive that everyone gets something out of. It's not just like, okay, I need feedback from people.
Yeah.
Everyone wins. That's awesome.
Yeah.
And so you have that website, and then the website would be
www.sugarrain.com.
Okay.
And then as far as my music merchandise goes, I have a separate website, and it's oliviakingmusic.com. And any merchandise that's affiliated with my music is on that website. And then just as far as all different fashion stuff goes, I have everything from jewelry to clothing to temporary tattoos, press-on nails, like all stuff that demographic likes.
Ooh.
So yeah.
Great. Well, thank you so much for coming on
Thank you.
my show, and I wish you the best.
Thank you so much.
I will be looking out for that video because you have gotten to me where I'm just like, I need to see this video.
It should be interesting. We'll see how the acting is.
True.
We got the first time my boyfriend's actually playing my boyfriend in a video. It's always been someone else. My dad's the shoe shine guy. Like it's all like
that is amazing.
It should be pretty funny.
I'm excited.
Yeah.
So we'll look out for that.
Oh yeah.
Olivia, if you can just let people know where they can find you.
Yeah, of course. Everything across the board is Olivia King Music. So Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, YouTube, everything is the same. And then just my website, oliviakingmusic.com. It's pretty easy.
Great.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Anytime. And that concludes another exciting episode of The Business of Soul Searching. If the content discussed in this podcast interests you, please contact me at thebusinessofsoulsearching@gmail.com. Also, make sure you subscribe. And most importantly, take a calculated risk this week. Don't do it for me, do it for you.
Feels like I'm on cloud nine. Today's been dragging so much, but you helped me pass the time.